Okay, well, good afternoon, everyone, and I'd like to thank you all for attending this afternoon's event to commemorate an important milestone for our village, the groundbreaking for our Village Hall expansion and associated renovation project for our existing building. I also want to express my thanks to our invited guests, County Legislator Josh Lavizan. Nice hand for Josh. And Town of Oyster Bay Supervisor Joe Saladino for stopping by. After my remarks, I'd like to invite both Josh and Joe to say a few words to recognize this important day for the village of Old Brookville. To put this event in some perspective, I would like you all to be aware that the present building was constructed in 1965 on 7 acres of land that was donated to the village by the Watson family. The cost of the building was also funded by donations from village residents. Going from a population of about 1,500 people in 1965 to approximately 2,200 today, the present 1,500 square foot building is stretched to the limit by the village clerk's department, the building department, and by the village justice court. For those of you that are not aware, this is a very busy little village, and we really need the extra space. That said, I'd like to thank our entire village board for their support and assistance. I particularly would like to thank our building inspector, Peter Albinski, for his construction ideas for what I consider a terrific building expansion. Thank you, Peter. In my email to the village residents inviting them to this event, it was mentioned that there were years of delays leading up to this day. While there were different approaches to our expansion and multiple bid packages, on behalf of the board, I am pleased to say that our final plan for a 2,000 square foot modular expansion was one that saved the village hundreds of thousands of dollars over the cost of traditional construction. However, comparatively speaking, it took the village of Old Brookville longer to get to this point than it took to plan, construct, and occupy the Empire State Building in the early 1930s, which I think is rather remarkable. That said, the new expansion and renovated existing building will be one that all village residents will be able to take pride in. It will have an expanded lobby, more space for the village clerk, dedicated space for the building department, and enhanced features for our village justice court. Most importantly, much of the expansion will be dedicated to the new headquarters for the Old Brookville Police Department as of June 1st, 2022. With a separate entrance and modern amenities, our building department will be working with the police and other members of our construction build-out team to create a fully functional, efficient working space for our dedicated One Village Police Department. A police department that will result in the doubling of our patrols, from 1 patrol car to 2 patrol cars, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as of June 1st, 2022, and will result in reduced police response time. As your mayor for the past 12 years, from time to time, I have also been the assistant police commissioner for the village in our current intermunicipal 6-village police arrangement, and am presently the police commissioner for the village of Old Brookville. I have never been so appreciative of the Old Brookville Police and proud to be associated with this increase in police protection for our residents. Be assured that our village will continue to be patrolled by Old Brookville police officers who are familiar with our village, familiar with our roads, and familiar with our residents. I thank you for your attention, and now I'd like to introduce our county legislator, Josh Lavizan, to say a few words. Josh?
Good afternoon, everyone. I see a lot of familiar faces. For those of you who are meeting for the first time, my name is Josh Lavizan. I have the distinct privilege of serving as Nassau County Legislator for this district. I'm also 8 weeks post-op from jaw surgery, so I hope you can all hear me fine. And one of the first events I've come to, and it's an honor to be here, Mayor. I just wanted to share 2 quick thoughts. This is the first groundbreaking I've attended in my service as legislator, and it got me thinking about how local government really matters. I started my career on the School Board of Education. I serve as a local county lawmaker. My aspirations were to serve locally like the mayor and the village board because this is where the work gets done. If you turn on the news and you see folks in Washington bickering and not doing a lot of governing, if you turn your attention locally, things are getting done. And today epitomizes that. So I congratulate the mayor and the village board on getting things done and working for your residents. But the second piece is that, community is about bringing people together to do what matters. In order to do that, we need places for them to congregate and gather. And so the second thought I wanted to share is that I don't think there's a more opportune time to groundbreak than with COVID hopefully ending and with us seeing a future in sight. People need spaces to congregate. We talk about the village square. I don't see that as a hypothetical. I literally see that as the village square, bringing people to come together and express their democratic right. You allowing them to do that makes this village a better place to live. And I'm so proud to be a legislator in this village. So I congratulate you. On the record, I'm saying anything you need, whether it's financial grants or whatever I can do, I am at service of this village. It is my honor to serve you, and I'm so excited for all of you. Congratulations.
Great. Thank you. I'd now like to introduce our Town of Oyster Bay Supervisor, Joe Saladino. Joe?
I really appreciate this opportunity to come and spend time with all of you. This is a very special community. The village of Old Brookville is filled with history, some of the most beautiful homes in all of the town and quite frankly all of the country. So to build a friendship with your Mayor Bernie Ryba, a great man, a great leader, and now building a relationship with new friends, including your Deputy Mayor Will Clark and all of the trustees. Please count on the Town of Oyster Bay to always be your friend in government, to be with you in the times when it's very challenging, like dealing with COVID, and the mayor's been so wonderful through the whole process of protecting our residents, or celebrations like this that we're so happy to be a part of. I'm here now 4 years, and I appreciate the opportunity to administer in the Town of Oyster Bay, the opportunity that you all have given me. And it's very special to be turning the town around with such quality employees in the Town of Oyster Bay, and those we reach out to for the highly specialized services that are making us so much better. And one person that indeed is helping us to dramatically improve the Town of Oyster Bay is Steve Leventhal, who is the counsel to our ethics board and all things ethical in terms of the law, in terms of advising all of us in decision making and assisting our employees. So let's say thank you to Steve Leventhal. We appreciate your expertise. I brought a nice gift for all of you that, who knows, may hang on one of the new walls of this edition. It's a town citation to thank you for the great work you're doing and commemorate this very special time in the history of your village. So Bernie, if I may ask you to join me up here.
Okay, and then thank you, Joe.
I have one other thing for you. First, we'd like to present this on behalf of all of the elected officials of America's third largest township, the Town of Oyster Bay, including Michelle Johnson, a councilwoman who lives right up the block. We'd like to say congratulations. We look forward to the ribbon cutting when it's done.
Absolutely.
And we know that the governing that will take place in this building will make a tremendous difference in providing the best services of any village because of the leadership of your mayor and your board of trustees and all who work for this village. So we give this to you to say congratulations to Old Brookville.
Supervisor, get a picture of you, that'd be great.
Everybody look right there. I also want to take this moment and this opportunity to thank the mayor specifically. He was sharing duties not only as your mayor and working out in Stony Brook with all of the responsibilities that he's been doing out there, but he was also assisting. During the entire pandemic, we put together weekly briefings to provide the decision makers with the information they needed. And I have to tell you, we are so fortunate to have Bernie Reiber at the helm here in Old Brookville. You did a phenomenal job. You assisted in all sorts of ways, showing that you are clearly one of our hometown heroes.
Well, thank you, Joe.
We created a Town of Oyster Bay TOB Strong pin for our healthcare heroes, for our first responders, and people who stepped up with leadership above and beyond the call of duty. So I'd like to present you, Bernie, with this pin to say thank you for being an extraordinary leader, for helping to protect the health and safety of your residents and our combined residents, and to say thank you for being amazing. Mayor, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'll wear it with pride. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me say that, and thank you, Joe, for those kind words, and rest assured, we will put this in an appropriate frame and put it in the new building to be viewed by all. Very much appreciate this recognition by the Town of Oyster Bay. And I'd also like to say that since Joe has been town supervisor, what a dramatic turnaround in the Town of Oyster Bay financials. From long-term debt that went from basically junk status, now we read just within the past week that Standard & Poor's has increased the bond rating to A+. I mean, in 4 short years, what a dramatic change. And this is the man that is guiding our town to greater success as we look forward in the coming years. So, Joe, thank you very much for your engagement.
Thank you, Mayor.
It's been a wonderful 4 years, and we look forward to continued progress under your leadership.
Tom was hoping he'd be able to be here today, but his schedule didn't permit it, so he asked me to come by.
Okay,
He
well,
knows this is a very exciting day for all of you, and to present you with this flag to go in your new extension once it's built.
okay. Well, I was hoping that Tom would stop by. The congressman obviously is very busy. I will be meeting with the congressman tomorrow at his Huntington offices to talk about the American Rescue Plan monies that are being distributed to the communities. And so we are so fortunate to have the kind of leadership here to depend on from a federal, state, town, and county perspective. We couldn't ask for anything more than these people that are in these present offices. I have also reached out to our state representative, State Senator Gorin. He had a conflict with a prior commitment up in Saratoga. And of course, Assemblyman Ed Ra is associated with all the comings and goings that are associated with the New York State Assembly. So they both sent their regrets. But I'm sure they would have been here had they not had those conflicts. So on behalf of the Village of Old Brookville, I'd like to accept this token of the Congressman's recognition of this milestone day in the Village of Old Brookville, and tell him, and I will tomorrow, how very appreciative I am of this designation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we do have some cold refreshments, okay? And they're light, but they're cold, off to the side here. So please help yourselves, and thank you for coming. Have a great day. It's been a pleasure to see you all.